That's not.
Let's talk about Kane here for a minute, because much has been made about the streak, and you could argue that, and I know in hindsight, people were probably going to crap on this, but I think you could argue that maybe it made sense that if someone was going to end the Undertaker streak, it should have been his brother. Was that ever discussed, that you remember Kane perhaps being the one to end the streak?
It had been discussed, but certainly not here. This was the return of the dead man, and there was never any discussion one way or the other that Undertaker would not be victorious on this night. You know, this whole thing was meant as the return of the Undertaker, victory, and in a lot of respects, it was not a squash match by any stretch of the imagination. But this match was done and laid out to be the return of the Undertaker and for him to look great.
Wade Keller wrote something that I've wanted you to respond to for a while, and I'm glad we finally get to cover it. Brock Lesnar isn't alone in worrying about the Undertaker returning to television as the dead man character. Wrestlers suspect that Taker is going to squash Kane at WrestleMania and then beat Lesnar in a series of house show matches, assuming Lesnar stays on the road. Worse yet, the wrestlers fear that Taker is going to squash all the heels before turning heel himself and then squashing all of the baby faces. While that may sound like paranoia, wrestlers point out that Taker does have a track record of doing this. Quote, "Who wants to work with a babyface who won't sell?" asked one wrestler. "They tell you in the meetings to slow down and sell holds. Now we're supposed to work with a guy who won't sell anything. He would sell a lot during his American Badass days, but this is not American Badass." What say you?
No, it wasn't American Badass. However, they didn't know, nor did we at the time know how that character was going to evolve and how it would change. They thought that, okay, we're bringing back the old character of the dead man, the Undertaker. And it was a lot of paranoia. It was unnecessary paranoia because nobody knew what the hell we were going to have on that side. But it was in our minds, we'll get through the WrestleMania match, but then this new Undertaker, you know, he came back, cut promos, and he worked differently, and he did sell, and he did have vulnerability because you had seen that in the American Badass, but no one else had really seen that yet. And the fear was, I think the paranoia in the locker room was that, oh God, you know, we're told to do this, but it's okay for him not to sell what we do. And that wasn't going to be the case, but it was I think that fear was valid, and it was taking place in the locker rooms because guys came to me and asked about it, but it was not to be seen yet. You know, I was like, just wait and see what happens. Let's get there first.